Hello everyone. This is fourth lecture on fixed point theory. So today I am going to explain what do you mean by strict contractive mapping, related examples, non-expansive mapping, some remarks, and the relation between contraction, strict contractive, non-expansive mappings. So now what do you mean by strict contractive? So before to define strict contractive, I recall the definition of contraction mapping. Let Xt be a metric space and let F be a mapping going from X to X. Then this F is said to be contraction if there exists a fixed constant H which is less than 1. This H may be represented as alpha, K, and many more. This is any fixed constant whose value is less than 1 such that the distance of fx and fy is less than equals to h times distance of x and y, where x and y they are the members of x. So this inequality is true for every xy belonging to x and for h less than 1. Clearly h is greater than equals to 0. Why? Because this is greater than equal to this distance and we know that distance is always positive. So this is greater than equals to 0. So h is a number which lying between 0 and 1 and open from one side, right? So if any mapping satisfying this inequality, then that mapping is said to be contraction mapping or Banach contraction. Now the contractive or strict contractive mapping, if distance of fx comma fy is strictly less than distance of xy, so in star if we put h to be 1 and remove the equality, we will get the strict contractive condition, right? So if d of fx fy is less than, strictly less than d of xy for all xy belonging to x, then the mapping f is said to be contractive or strict contractive. Non-expansive mapping means in star you consider h to be 1. So in contraction mapping, if we take h to be 1, then that mapping is said to be non-expansive mapping. So in this case the distance of fx fy is less than equal to distance of x comma y. So any map f which satisfies this inequality is said to be non-expansive mapping. And if the star means the contraction condition, that inequality which is defined in previous slide, if that holds for any fixed value of h, any finite value of h, then f is called Lipschitz continuous. Now what is the relation between these all? The contraction implies contractive, means every contraction mapping is contractive, every contractive mapping is non-expansive, every non-expansive is Lipschitz continuous, but converse need not be true, right? Means every Lipschitz continuous need not be non-expansive or contractive or contraction, right? This is obvious. If you take h to be 2 in star, then that is Lipschitz continuous, but that is not non-expansive or contractive or contraction, right? So this is a relation between contraction and strict contractive and non-expansive mappings. Now you consider a usual matrix space. Let's suppose R is a set of real numbers and D is defined as mod of x minus y, where x and y are the members of R. If we define a mapping f going from R to R as x by a plus b, where a and b are any constants and x is any real number, then this f is contraction on R if a is strictly greater than 1. So for contraction, what we need to show, we need to the star, right, inequality. So we first consider the distance of fx comma fy. Now substitute the value of fx, it is x by a plus b. Substitute the value of fy, this is y upon a plus b, right? Now the usual distance is defined like mod of x minus y, so use that. B will be cancel out, you will left with mod of x minus y upon mod of a, and this thing is less than equal to d of xy, means mod of x minus y, only when the value of a is strictly greater than 1. So our f is contraction on set of real numbers whenever a is strictly greater than 1. And what are the fixed values of such function? So we need to find out those values of x for which f of x is equal to x. That means we have to solve this equation, x minus fx is equal to 0. So now you substitute the value of f of x over here. This is x by a plus b. Simplify this, we get the value of x. This is ab upon a minus 1. Here a and b both are constant provided a is greater than 1. So it cannot be 1. So clearly this number exists. So this is a fixed point of this equation, this function. Now the first remark, if f is contraction mapping on a metric space xd with some contraction constant h, then the nth iterate of f is also a contraction mapping with constant h to the power n. Once again, see, whenever f is contraction mapping, right, then f to the power n, which is nth iterate of f, is also contraction. However, the converse is not true. Means there exist such functions going from x to x which are not necessarily a contraction mapping. However, the nth iterate of f is a contraction for some n, right? It means fn may be contractive, however f is not. Well, let f be a function, be a mapping going from close interval 0 to 0 2, defined like this. Let's suppose it is 0 whenever your x is belonging to 0 1, and it is 1 whenever your x belongs to open interval, open from 1 and close from 2, right? Then clearly this function, this mapping is not contraction. Why? Because this is not continuous. This is not continuous at x is equal to 1. So clearly this mapping is not contraction. Why? Because we know that every contraction mapping is continuous mapping, right? So since this function is not continuous at x is equal to 1, so therefore this is not contraction mapping. However, if we find f square x, this is what? This is f of x. Now you substitute the value of f of x. What is f of x? Whenever your x belongs to closed interval 0 1, it is 0, otherwise it is 1, right? It means the value of this fx is always lying between, is always either 0 or 1, right? So this value is either 0 or 1. Both these numbers lying in the first. So whenever your x belong to this, the value of fx is 0. So f of this is always 0 for every x belonging to closed interval 0 2. Now just see by using an example. Let's suppose we take x to be 2. So what will be the value of f square at 2? It will be f of 2. What is the value of f of 2? It is 1, right? And what is the value of f of 1? The value of f of 1 will be 0, right? So this is true for every x in the closed interval 0 2, that the f square x is 0. So clearly if the mapping is 0, so it implies the distance of f square x comma f square y, it is 0. and it is always less than equal to some h times distance of x comma y. So this implies this is contraction. So this example shows that f is not contraction. However, the second iteration of f is contraction mapping. Now the next remark: for non-contraction mapping, there are examples where f has a unique fixed point but an iterate of f doesn't. So now this says there have such functions which are non-contractions but they have unique fixed point. However, the iterate of f doesn't. So for this we consider fx as 1 minus x. Here x are real numbers. Clearly it is non-contraction. Now y, what will be the value of d of fx comma fy? It will be 1 minus x minus 1 plus y. So this is mod of x minus y. So this is mod of y minus x, and clearly this is not less than or equal to some number h which is strictly less than 1 into mod of x minus y. So this implies this is not contraction. However, the fixed point of such mapping is f of x is equal to x implies 1 minus x is equal to x. So we get x is equal to half is the only fixed point, unique fixed point of this mapping f. So this mapping f is non-contraction. However, it attains a unique fixed point. But f square x, this is what? This is f of fx. Now what is the value of f of x? It is 1 minus x. So what will be the value of f of x? It will be 1 minus x. So 1 minus 1 minus x. So this is x. So now every point of x is a fixed point of this f square. So this implies f square has infinitely many fixed points in R. So we have such functions which are non-contraction having unique fixed point. However, the iterate of f doesn't. So this iterate of f have infinitely many fixed points in R. Now the next is extension of Banach contraction principle. Now the first theorem says let xt be a complete metric space, f be a mapping such that for each n there exists some constant Cn such that this satisfy this inequality. Now what is this inequality? The distance of f to the power n at x comma f to the power n at y is less than equal to Cn times d distance of x comma y, and this is true for every xy belonging to x, or these constants are in such a way that the series Cn is convergent. So this is finite. Then f has a unique fixed point. So now just see, if this series is convergent, then clearly its tail will be going to 0. So that tail is very small. So that means this number is very small whenever your n is very large. So this implies your mapping is contractive mapping. If your mapping is contraction, the space is complete. So by Banach contraction principle, the f to the power n has a unique fixed point, right? So that implies f has a unique fixed point. Since it is true for each n, so that's why this will hold. More theorem, let's see. Let Xd be a complete metric space and F be a mapping such that for some positive integer n, Fn is contraction on X, then F has a unique fixed point. Now just see, by Banach contraction principle, F to the power n has a unique fixed point. So F to the power n is contraction, this space is complete. So by using Banach contraction principle, F to the power n has a unique fixed point. Say this value is X. Also F to the power n plus 1 at X will be what? You can take 1F to be outside. So this is F of F to the power nx. Now what is the value of F to the power nx? This is nothing but X. So you get n plus 1 iterate is same as that F of X. So this implies F of X is also a fixed point of F to the power n, right? So this is also a fixed point of F to the power n. But by uniqueness of fixed point, they should be equal to X. So this implies F has a fixed point. Since the fixed point of F is also a fixed point of F to the power n, so it will be unique. So in above theorem, the mapping F need not be continuous, need not be contraction. However, the F has unique fixed point. So these above theorems are the extensions of Banach contraction principle.